And I'm frustrated, as many of you are, that it's slower than it needs to be. With the large-scale wind projects, we came up with a plan. We all worked together. We showed it can be done. We got results. We have now in the state of Iowa, we'll have soon 6,000 large 1 megawatt or bigger wind turbines operating in our state. We can do the same thing with other renewable alternative energy sources in the state of Iowa. And then we need to replicate these best practices, whether it's at the state level or local level, throughout the Midwest and across the country. Because, as I said when I started, there's nothing more important than we could be doing. Energy security is the number one issue facing us today, and it'll be the number one issue in all likelihood facing my children and your grandchildren in the future. So the pressure is really on us to try to figure this out, and we've done it before. Again, going back to those pioneers here in Iowa, and we can do it again. And with your help, I know that we will. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you for your leadership in going down to renewable energy. We look around. I want to ask you. Look around at a state like Wisconsin, who has a developed now installer business there. Maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of people live in Wisconsin. Iowa have 5 or 10. In Colorado, 5,000 people in the last 5 years. What are your top 3 or 4 or 5 policy tools that our neighboring states have done that we haven't been able to do, and why can't we copy that?
There's nothing wrong with applying someone else's good idea or best practice in Iowa. And that, I can tell you, is what Joel Bolcom, your state senator from here in Iowa City, is doing, and Rob Hogue from Cedar Rapids. They are taking those really good ideas that have worked in other states and trying to get those through the legislative process literally as we speak. What I think the key is for the industry leaders, all of you, the experts, the people that are on the front lines, to work closely with those policymakers. There will be issues or policies that the city council here in Iowa City can adopt, or the supervisors can adopt, that have worked really well in another city or another county outside of Iowa. And I think it sounds like we're making some progress, certainly at the state level, on some of those new ideas, new policies, and hopefully we'll get some of those passed before they finish the session. But certainly those job training programs are critical. We need, as my last year in office in particular, we certainly made that a priority to try to come up with new ideas and initiatives to train and prepare our workforce for these jobs of the future. And we did that again with our large-scale wind industry. If you truly want to install a certain amount of megawatts of wind or solar over a certain period of time, you better make sure you have the workforce ready to meet that goal. So it has to align with it. That's also true with siting and zoning and permitting, regulatory rules through with respect to the Iowa Utilities Board. We got to get ahead of the game so we can actually reach the ambitious goals that we set. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for failure. Yes?
With the new administration, do you think that what you did when you were in the governor is stacking, or do you think this will really go forward, or are there going to be changes made that will make this Iowa?
Well, the question is, a lot of the things that we did to support the renewable energy industry in Iowa going to continue, given the change administrations. I really think it's up to the people of the state. I mean, I urge you to contact your legislators in the House right now. What's our Senate file, Mike, on the solar bill? Solar and small wind?
SF 516.
SF 516 it's passed the Senate 49-1, the state Senate. It's in the House. There's no reason with enough support from constituents across the state of Iowa that bill can't be signed into law. That bill would help small wind and solar, and it would allow us to more quickly reach our potential in terms of developing more alternative energy in Iowa. And I've been encouraged, actually, that the Iowa Power Fund is going to continue to exist. And that's in large part, again, because so many people across the state support it, and it's working very effectively. And we have some of the best research and development projects related to renewable energy in the country going on because of it. So I just urge you to stay active, stay involved. You couldn't have better advocates than, for example, your legislative delegation right here in Iowa City with Bob Podgorski and Joe Volcom and Mary Masher and the whole team. And wherever you live, just talk to your legislator. Talk to them about why it's important to align these policies with the opportunities for them, for their district, for the people that live in their communities. This is a win-win opportunity for Iowa, and those policymakers need to be informed about the benefits of a lot of these policies, and in fairness to them, they've got a lot on their plate. So it's up to us to reach out to them and encourage them to act on some of these important laws that could only help our industry. Yes?
Yeah, thank you for coming, Governor.
It's great to be here.
Trains are some of the most fuel-efficient forms of transportation invented by humans. And so I think we really need to invest in the train proposal from Chicago to Iowa.
I'm with you all the way on that. Gotta get on board. Everyone needs to support that.
And I see that there's some philosophy differences about basic economics. Some people think that the private account is the most important, but you see the long-term public benefits and reduction of costs with investments such as the train.
Sure.
So I hope that other people will follow your lead.
Well, thank you. And, for those of you that aren't as familiar with our efforts to bring high-speed passenger rail, or I don't know if we can really call it high-speed, but faster passenger rail to Iowa City, when we applied for the grant from the federal government, and we were awarded that grant last year to help us build the Iowa City Chicago to Iowa City route. The one reason that we were successful, and the one reason that Secretary LaHood at the Department of Transportation came here and told us we had won the grant, is because of our focus on renewable energy. We want to call this the Green Line from Chicago to Iowa City. We want the trains to be as green as possible, from possibly using biodiesel-based soy lubricant on the tracks to paperless tickets. We want the depots to be LEED certified. We put all of those goals into our application. And so not only could we benefit from offering this low-cost way for Iowans and visitors to come and go from Iowa City, and to open up literally the rest of the country to people that otherwise maybe can't afford to travel those distances. We have this exciting renewable and green component and opportunity to show the world and show the country what's possible when it comes to retrofitting this rail service. And if we can have the green line from Chicago to Iowa City, we can expand that green line to other parts of the country and once again become an example and a model for what's possible in the area of renewable energy. So again, going back to the previous question, I urge the viewers and all of you here today to fight for that rail project, to make sure that we're successful, that the policymakers at every level ultimately say, yes, we're going to go forward. We know it's going to the Quad Cities. Governor Quinn has already made that decision, so it's going to the Quad Cities. Now we have to make sure it comes not only to Iowa City, but on to Des Moines, and then ultimately over to Omaha. That's the long-term goal.
I was surprised that...
And excuse me, maybe we can get some wind turbines and solar panels on that train too somehow.
I was
there you go.
Come to the solar-powered Kinnick Stadium.
I was surprised that buildings consume more energy than transportation. I learned that like 20 years ago. But transportation investments are important in shaping our urban development. And urban developments are like 10 degrees hotter than rural areas. So this is a really important, transportation investment is really important in climate change.
No question. And with that train alternative, you're going to get cars off the road. So especially with all of the traffic between here and in Chicago. So again, thank you all very much. I want to be respectful of everyone's time and keep up the great work. Thank you.
We appreciate you taking the time to share your insights with us. It's like a breath of fresh air.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi folks, Tim Dwight here. When I played football at Iowa, my mission was to score touchdowns. Now my mission is helping our country become less dependent on imported energy. Please join me by becoming a member of the Iowa Renewable Energy Association, a leader in alternative energy education for 20 years. Hi folks, Tim Dwight here. When I played football at Iowa, my mission was to score touchdowns. Now my mission is helping our country become less dependent on imported energy, and by developing renewable energy systems, and to put Iowans back to work. Please join me by becoming a member of the Iowa Renewable Energy Association, a leader in alternative energy education for 20 years. So log on to www.irenew.org and join the team.
Got it? Yep. It's all you.